Well, how's it going, boys and girls? It's been a while. Finally have something worth making a video on, so here we are. So here is one of the first purchases of 2020. I did buy that little John Deere spreader. Some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. It's not much to show. It's just a little John Deere 33 spreader I bought on an auction. I wanted something small that, if need be, I could pull through the snow easier to haul some manure. But this video is about this purchase. This is a Fordson Super Dexta. Little 3-cylinder diesel. I don't know a lot of the history on it. I bought it from a buddy of mine. His dad passed away and his dad bought and sold tractors. And this was sitting there for a while. And the biggest reason I wanted it was for that right there. 3-point. This is going to be my new woods buggy. The plan is I've got some log tongs that I can hook on here, and I can use it for skidding logs out of the woods. I really don't want to take that thing in the woods, and I don't want to take the 4020 in the woods, so I'm going to buy something like this. Small, short, it's not very tall. Should be able to snake it in out of the woods easy. Plan is to cut this muffler down so the muffler sits closer to the hood. Trim the top down so it doesn't get caught on as many tree branches. And I've got that 4x8 trailer I can pull behind this. Or I might build a carry-all that I can put on the 3-point. And I can use those 300-gallon totes. And I can throw firewood in those or whatever. But anyways, so this tractor, like I say, we don't know a whole lot about it. We know that I know that it sat at the neighbor's for 2 years along the road for sale with everything else that he's got for sale. So it hadn't been running 2 years. The tack works on it. It says 1,863 hours on it, and it does work. It appears to be original. Can't guarantee that. Then right there's the oil pressure gauge. It does hold 40 psi of oil pressure. And it does have a temp gauge right here. We run it for a couple hours today. It stayed right at the line just below 175 the whole time we were screwing around with it. But otherwise, it has, I don't know if we can see it now or not. You can see that oil looks kind of creamy. I have a feeling it may or may not have a bad head gasket. But like I say, we don't know how long it's been sitting, so if it's been sitting for a long time, that could just be condensation. We don't know for sure. But like I say, we screwed around with it all day today. And I've got it in the shop now. I'm going to change the oil in it so I can run it and see if by chance that oil gets creamy again. May have to change it twice. The radiator hasn't gone down, and there's no like pressure coming back to the radiator, so I don't know for sure if there's anything wrong with that or not. It does have kind of a mess. There again, we don't know how long it's been sitting for sure, so whether it just has an injector that's not working right or whatever, we don't know for sure. But it does run. It has decent power. There's the amp gauge. Heck of a spot for it, huh? Brakes all work, clutch works, 3-point works. The hydraulic works. It only has pressure one way, which kind of sucks. But it does have the high and low 3-speed, so it's got the 6 gears. Does not have power steering, but it steers pretty easy, so I don't really need power steering. It's got a new alternator on it. Other than that, I don't really know what to say about it. It does have, if you can see, there's a puddle of oil underneath it. down here, there is, I'm showing this to Anthony. Right here, there's like this little tab. It's dripping oil out there, and that's what's on the ground. There's two puddles here, because that puddle's from now, that puddle's from earlier. When my buddy brought it over here, I parked it in the shop and then did chores, got everybody fed, then I come and started it, and I took it for a ride out to the field. And so I think the seal is out between the clutch and the transmission. I think that seal's bad. So whether I'm going to fix it or not, that's to be determined. For right now, I think I'm just going to change the oil in the engine, make sure the transmission's full of fluid, and run it, and go from there. Obviously, we'll have to change the air cleaner oil. And I'd like to put some fluid in the tires because she's just a little light in the rear end, but I think we might put fluid in the back end and see if I can't find a set of chains for it. And then I think it'd be awesome in the woods. So yeah, this is basically bought for out in the woods, pulling logs out, cutting firewood, working along the fence lines, because technically I'm not supposed to use the Gator for driving down the road, like for cutting firewood. I can technically drive it down the road for farming, but cutting firewood, there's a fine line between whether you can or can't. So I figured this with either that 4x8 trailer, or maybe if I find a pickup box trailer or something, this would be perfect. I can drive along the fence lines, cut firewood, throw stuff in that or whatever. This I can take out in the woods. Not terribly worried if it gets scratched up. I'd hate to ding it all up, you know, with dents, but I think it'd be perfect for that. So yes, this is what I bought. This is the first purchase of 2020, and I say the first purchase because I had told him in the beginning of January that if the 3-point works, I would take it. Yesterday we pulled it out of the snow pile that it was sitting in and got it in his mom's shop, got it thawed out, got it running, and here it sits. So this is the first purchase of 2020. I need to see if I can't find a drawbar for it. I know you can put them drawbars in the 3-point, but I'd rather put a regular drawbar in here for pulling that cart. That little trailer. The diff lock does work. I had it out in the deep snow and ended up using that. It needs, I think I'm going to go through and redo the wiring on it, like this hokey thing here that they have, just what a piece of junk. And then the key spins in there, so I gotta do some work to the key. This thing is loose. I know, just 2 bolts going here, but that's junk. I need to put a new kill cable on it because that's all kinked and junk, so I just reach up here and shut it off manually. Probably put a new fuel filter in it because that might be part of why it runs a little rough too. It runs really good up to about 1400, then after that it kind of has a mess. So I don't know if it's an injector or exactly what it is, or if it does have a leaking head gasket and it's getting antifreeze or water in there. That could be why it's missing too. But yeah, otherwise everything works best I can tell. It's got good brakes. It's got the 2-stage clutch in it, which whatever. It does not really have live power. So, but when you're driving it and you push the clutch in, I mean, you get it down to here and it stops moving, and you push it that little bit more and it kicks the live power out. Here's the PTO lever, if I don't figure that out. So I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to use the PTO on it a whole lot. I had thought when I first saw it about putting the 4-row cultivator on it, but I don't know that 40 horsepower is going to have enough to pull that 4-row cultivator. And who knows, maybe it will. But we'll see if we're even going to cultivate any corn this year. But the PTO does work. It does spin. It does shut off like it's supposed to. It doesn't keep spinning, so the brake must be good if it even has a brake. So I think that this thing could probably pull the spreader, could probably pull the sprayer, all that happy fun stuff. But biggest reason I bought it is for out in the woods. Like I say, skidding logs out, collecting firewood. I can drive this down the road to the other land, cut trees, you know, cut up wood, throw it in the trailer, haul it back here. I can drive this over to the other farm, cut wood along the fence line over there, and that way I don't have to take my vehicles out there and screw around with them in the brush, you know. So yes, anyways, this is the little 3-cylinder diesel. I can't remember what, it's a Perkins engine, I know that. At least that's what Ford says. I can't remember the displacement on it right offhand. I need to get the numbers off the engine though when I go back in, because I was going to look up parts for it. But yeah, little 3-cylinder diesel. I wasn't going to buy a gas. I'm over gas engines. I hate them. So there she is. That's what we bought. The first toy of the year. Once I get it out and play with it more, I'll make a video of it running. You're not missing much by not seeing it. I start it right now, but it smokes pretty good, so at an idle. It about smoke you out of here in 2 minutes. You can start that thing up, and well, you get off this one in 2 minutes, you get off that one and it running for 20 minutes. So but the tire's a little low, so I'm gonna call and see how much it costs to get fluid put in these tires. I'm gonna try and find a set of tire chains for it. More traction for out in the woods. But you know, with like this, if you poke a hole in the tire, you're not going to lose near as much sleep as if you had like the 6400 out there and you poke a hole in that tire. One of those tires, boy, you cry all night long. So yeah, anyhow, here's your hydraulic valve. And it's just got pressure one way, so you've only got the one line going to the back. Here's your 3-speed in reverse. Here's your high and low. There's your 3-point lever, obviously, and you can either run your hydraulic lever here or on the side there. There's your diff lock. There's your PTO lever. It's got these fancy steps here. It makes you feel like a little kid riding your old BMX bike, you know, with your steps on the back. I don't know if that's so like you can just put your legs way out front and sit back like you're a cool kid or whatever. I don't really know. And I don't know for sure what these lights are supposed to be that are... like the plastic part of them are gone. I see bulbs in there, but they don't work. So I'll have to go through the wiring on it. But yeah, kind of goofy Ford how they've always got the battery tucked up underneath here. So you got to take the muffler off to get the hood flipped open to get to the battery. But hopefully we don't have to get to that very often. So anyhow, there she be. You see, one of these days we'll make a video of it running. I just kind of want to change the oil and stuff like that, because you can see there's that oil is creamy, so you hate to run it too long like that. Get that oil drained out, and I'll put some cheap, like 1540 or something, Fleet Farm oil in there, farm oil, to run it for a couple days and try and get it cleaned out and drain that back out, and then put better oil in there. So I got to figure out if this is where you top off the hydraulic oil or if there's somewhere else. I don't know. It's a Ford. I don't know a whole lot about them. My cousin's the Ford guy, not me. But I think this is where you turn the hydraulics on and off, I think. I'm not for sure. Don't know a whole lot about her. I'm assuming that's where the hydraulic filter is. But yeah, you can see where that oil is. There must be... obviously the clutch is way up here. There must be a seal in here somewhere, and with the way this is tapered, I'm guessing there must be something right in here. And there must be a seal with where the live power and the shaft, the drive shaft, goes through back there. I don't know, but I'm assuming that's where that's come from. Or maybe there's not even anything till you get way back there, but there's got to be a seal in there that's bad that it's draining hydraulic oil out right there. So, and then I think that's the parking brake right there. It doesn't work. I gotta soak that down with oil so it'll work, because obviously if I'm gonna have it out in the woods, I want the parking brake to work, especially on the hills. So yeah, anyways, if anybody has any information on this tractor, like what those things are for or whatever, I'd appreciate the knowledge that you could share with me about that. So anyways, I think this video is long enough. You guys got to see the sweet chariot we have here. Man, we're going big time now, aren't we? I can't remember who it was, if it was Storm and Norman or somebody said something about put that on the round baler. Yeah. That would sure get the neighborhood talking, wouldn't it? But anyhow, there she is. Catch you guys on the next one. See ya.